ain't attract me, homie. You should pace yourself. Don't talk reckless to me. You should embrace your health or do the whole world a favor. Waste yourself. Got a whole entourage and not a trace of hell. I'm just live. J2 to 5. I know it seems like I'm suave, but I'm deadly when I'm taking out your squad. Fuck your lessons. What if you apply? That question caught him off guard. Nothing he replied.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
He does have a rematch clause, so we're going to work on that. And if people doesn't want to take that, we'll eventually get other fighters. But they should do it. We should run it again. So we're just going to wait to see on what they say.
Obviously, they should invoke their rematch clause. That's the whole point of getting it. But Isak's reign at 140 was always destined to be a short one.
Your reign on the top was short like leprechauns.
Has no reach, has no jab. We're getting caught with some beautiful uppercuts. Rayo probably won't reign for too long himself. Rolling his shots on the ropes, turning him, and didn't brawl as much as I thought he would brawl. And outboxed Isak. The result of the rematch would be no different from the first fight. Isak's found his limit. He's built his reputation of going the distance with Tank Davis, basically. He was gifted a title by fighting the very beatable Rolly Romero. I don't want to say he was exposed. I don't think that's the right word. Because he had his moments. Split decision. CRUZ wasn't worthy of a split decision here. No way. Tough guy, takes a good shot. But Venezuela never looked likely to lose yesterday. I hear Lomachenko said that Pitbull won.
Crazy!
A couple of media outlets said this was an upset. An upset how? On my hangout, I was saying that Venezuela's going to put the hands on CRUZ. This was not an upset. How was this an upset against a limited opponent? An exciting opponent, but limited. Speaks volumes about the Tank Davis resume that if not heavily scrutinized, then you're just fanning for Tank. Venezuela, he can get some paydays and get in some exciting fights. No doubt about that. It wasn't the firework display as we thought and as was advertised, because Pitbull is just a limited guy. Pitbull beat Rolly, and Rolly's terrible. As soon as Tank is taken out of his comfort zone from the protection of the PBC, he's going to do what Jared Anderson did yesterday.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
I picked Jared Anderson because the fight took place in America. Not only did he have hometown advantage, I just didn't want to accept that the last heavyweight prospect, which was him, would go out like that. Now, Richard Torres is the only hope right now. And maybe there might be someone laying dormant who pops up. And my gosh, do they need it. I just didn't want to accept this could happen. He showed heart, but that's the least we can expect from the bag he's getting from the Saudi Arabia Riyadh season money. But he did show heart. Got crumbled from a left hand. Bakole followed up, put him down. They had some good exchanges. But Jared just doesn't know how to create the angles to fight a big man like Bakole. And that's because he's been protected by Bob Arum for so long. So it looks like the Charles Martin fight where he got hurt and didn't look all that. It told us a lot. It told us a lot. They thought they could rebuild, go back down a level against the likes of Rudenko, who Johnny Fisher is fighting next. But the Saudi bag has made yet another casualty of American boxing, and that's Jared Anderson. He can come back though. He's still young. How old is he? Mid-20s? He looks in shape. He was the lighter man. Why couldn't he avoid a lot of the shots? Where was the side-on movement? The lateral movement? Where was it? Where was the foot speed? Where was it? And then to compound that, see, a lot of fighters do make that mistake of pulling back in straight lines. But at least they're moving their head at times, and at least they've got some fundamentals and footwork. Jared just came in there lacking. And he obviously doesn't hold too much of a punch, because Charles Martin had him in trouble, and Charles is not a big puncher. Yeah? Michael Hunter must feel sick. He was there. He must feel sick that he stopped Martin Bakole, only to be out the loop right now, because he made some horrible decisions, like a lot of American boxers have made. The finish came in the fifth. That short left hand, it was a little like that George Foreman shot that he hit Joe Frazier with in Jamaica. There wasn't too much backlift, but it had dramatic effects. And down goes Anderson. It was an uppercut. Then he was sent to the canvas again. It was very dismissive how Bakole had no respect for Anderson's power or whatever he threw. Very dismissive. And there was no special effects to Bakole's boxing. But Jarrell just didn't have the tools to deal with a man mountain who just walked him down. And he crumbled spectacularly. The Americans titled the British heavyweights as horizontal heavyweights. And I think things have swung around for me to title the American heavyweights as horizontal. I think that's fair. Daniel Dubois smashed up Jarrell Miller, easy work, a couple of months back. Wilder got broke up by the Chinese man. Jared Anderson crumbled to the Congolese guy. You know, it's not like the days when Britain sent John L. Gardner over to fight Michael Dokes, and Dokes took out a row of John L. Gardner's teeth. John L. Gardner, British champion, he was a decent fighter. Them days are gone. Bakole wants the winner of Fury and Usyk. Does he get that before Anthony Joshua?
Hell no, he replied.
He'd do some great paydays. And if Joshua beats Dubois and goes on to fight the winner of Usyk and Fury, Bakole should definitely be in line to get that next shot. Jared, can he come back? We saw him crying to Roy Jones. So me looking at him making a comeback, we'll see. Like, what's the obsession like with Jared Anderson and Jarrell Miller calling himself baby? A man calling himself baby. You know, like girlfriends, you know. I had girlfriends, yo, baby, call you baby. Yeah, that's you know what I mean? That's what's up. But a man calling himself baby for public consumption, like, and then they're arguing about who deserves the patent of the name. I'm the real baby. I'm the real baby.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Andy Ruiz had a hand injury, which he put forward as an explanation for his woeful performance against Jarrell Miller, who out-hustled Andy, used his weight advantage, roughed Andy up, had him looking puffy round the face, and should have got the decision, unanimously. They scored the fight a draw. Andy looked like hot garbage, you know. Assisted by Miller's lack of punching power, he managed to survive the 12. Miller himself didn't throw much, but he did more than Andy. He didn't get the decision, in my opinion, because of his past indiscretions, popping twice. Well, more than twice. You know, old big baby pharmacist can't get past the VADA tests. Miller lost weight, but he came in at 300 pounds and he couldn't probably afford to lose any more safely and perform in the ring. But he was still slow, the punch output still low. Andy, inactive for 2 years, he just didn't look up for a fight. They're both grossly overweight and the fight was a dud. I don't really want to talk on it, but the promoters have to look at inactivity before they put guys on big platforms. Look at their weight, look at their current form, etc., etc. They need to monitor that a little more stringently so we don't get them disappointments in the ring. Two fat guys, you know what I mean, call them the fat boys, who managed to blag good paydays. Good on them. Good on them. They're pro boxers, they're taking risks. If they can blag the paydays, that's what they'll do.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Looks like I was in a minority, and I don't mind being in a minority once my conscience is clear with my convictions. But I was surprised there wasn't more of a outrage on the David Morrell KALADZIC decision. Hot Rod, I'll call him. I thought Hot Rod outboxed him pretty comfortably, only to see David Morrell get the decision. Pretty wide from what I remember. David Morrell, another Cuban, who basically, in the pro ranks, hasn't really shown up, has he? Like, that was his light heavyweight debut. And just like David Benavidez, the American-Mexican / Ecuador 168-pounder move up to 175, hasn't impressed. And I wasn't impressed at all. He looked one-paced, looked like he was looking for one big shot all the way through. And I thought Kaladze, with that nice rhythm, with them great feet, with the faster hands, the more accurate, the more consistent punching, I thought he won. Morrell threw the harder punches, and if they're going to say they're going to reward him on aggression and harder punches, well, I don't think he did enough. I don't think he did enough. I don't think he landed enough. A lot of the blows he threw didn't land. They were blocked. But when he did get through, he looked like he could potentially do damage. But Hot Rod stood up to whatever was thrown. And midway and late on, he started pushing Morrell back on his back foot. I'm not going to scream corruption because I don't have no control over remedying or fixing what I think is wrong with certain decisions. So it's no point me getting mad about it. I just thought KALADZIC won. And yeah, I'm generally not impressed with Cuban boxers in the pro ring. Just got to keep it real. Morrell normally looks lethal when he's bowling over the 10 or 11 stiffs they put in front of him in his career. But a little bit of movement had him off balance. Had him off balance for most of the fight. He couldn't get set to throw his power punches. And you have to wonder, Morrell and Andy Ruiz, both PBC affiliated, and the card was in America. How are they getting decisions like that? How did Morrell get the win? And how did Andy Ruiz get a draw against Miller? But I'm not going to make too much of a thing about it because somebody might say to me, well, I disagree with you on the scorecards with Terence Crawford and Madrimov. And Crawford is another home fighter. Main event.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
I mean, Eddie Hearn's doing his nut, isn't he? He's doing his nut. But I had it 116, 112. I had it 117, 112, but I made a typo on my scorecard.
It's obviously very close, but what score would you have given it?
115, 113, Madrigal. Yeah, I said it a couple of times. But listen, I can see it each way. It was just, I was standing in there thinking, I think we've got this, you know. And it's like, so-and-so scores the fight, 116, 112. And I'm thinking, all right, no split. And then when it's unanimous, you know Madrimov ain't got it. And it's just like, fuck's sake, like, emotional, because I wanted him to win.
You know, my old ass couldn't last the pace last night, so I had to come back and watch it at 9 a.m. in the morning. And I thought Terence won well. He had the faster hands. Madrimov took too long to get his punches off. But he was technically very good with the foot feint. Places his punches very well. Keeps his shape very well. And, you know, like Uzbekistan amateur over 300 fights, did they say? It was never going to be an easier fight for someone moving up to a new weight class, challenging for a title. His fourth weight class, and the physical presence showed up here. This is the first time in a long time that Terence Bud Crawford hasn't hurt someone or put someone on the canvas. Both their eyes were swollen from the amount of jabs thrown. You know what I mean? Some hard jabs going in there. It was a chess match, but a good chess match of the highest order. Actually a very, very good fight. Bud showed a lot of skills. Like his ability just to pull the round out with his punch selection. Like Madrimov didn't attack the body enough. And Crawford did attack the body when necessary. If that was a target area, then that's where the scoring punches would be. And it's almost like he's got a built-in clock or punch barometer of how much punches he has to throw to win a round. And this is why he's pound for pound the best.
I'm the best.
In all truth, watching it early this morning, I would argue it was fortunate for Bud to be going into that fight with Madrimov only having 11 pro fights behind him, even though Madrimov was champion. Because if Madrimov was more experienced and knew how to fight inside, we could be having a totally different conversation this morning. I'm going to keep that real. Eddie Hearn said it himself, emotions running high. He thought Madrimov won it 115, 113. No, he didn't. And if he had got a decision like that in a fight he didn't win, the controversy would be on Matchroom's door. They wouldn't be enjoying the win as much as they think they would. They really wouldn't. But Madrimov, yeah, he's definitely legit. And there will definitely be some good fights for Madrimov next time round. And if they do the matchmaking and development right, they can make him into a star. He has the potential there. Turki Al Sheikh said he made Canelo an offer that he should accept. But you never know with Canelo, and we have to wait for this Berlanga fight. A lot of people say they don't want to see the fight. I guess going on Bud's performance against Madrimov. I thought Bud performed okay. I thought he performed pretty good. But he said if not, they're looking for the Virgil Ortiz showdown. So let's see if Golden Duck are prepared to roll the dice in a fight that Ortiz has already ducked a couple of times, according to the WBO president. We shall see. It was a good card. Enjoyed the card. The question, like stacking out the card, how much will it be appreciated in the long run with attention deficit at an all-time high on the internet, on social media, in life in general? All right, the card starts, let's say 9:30 a.m. p.m. in America. By the time you watch Bakole, Anderson, and a couple of the other good fights on the undercard, on the stacked undercard, it's almost like you've seen the main event and the co-main already. And you're talking 10 p.m. till, when did Bud get in the ring? 4, 5 a.m. Bob Arum said, people don't turn up to see the undercard. They don't turn up to see the undercard. And while it's great to have these stacked cards with the Saudi Arabian influence, it is good. We'll see how sustainable it is going into the rest of the year and next year, I guess, depending on what the Saudis have planned.
It's a lot of things they want. There's always here to give them what they need, man. This ain't a track, me, homie. You should pace yourself. Don't talk reckless to me. You should embrace your health or do the whole world a favor. Waste yourself. Got a whole entourage and not a trace of help. I'm just live. J2 to 5. I know it seems like I'm suave, but I'm deadly when I'm taking out your squad. Fuck your lessons. What if you apply? That question caught him off guard. Nothing he replied. Looked him in his eyes just so I could see if I could recognize the light that be shining from the wise. Usually can vibe with those who think similar, but those who choose not to think ain't enough perimeter. Sometimes I just get crazy with my pen flow. I could jump on any melody or tempo. We make the complicated seem simple. Me and Delirious, we like kinfo. So we back at it. Delirious threw me a track, I threw a rap at it. We got the same obsession as a crack addict. Flow crazy, should be inside that room padded. And I ain't doing this to gain status. It ain't me, but a lot of people claim that it's the dopest shit they ever heard, and I concur with them. The problems they be facing never occur with them. I tried to tell them I'ma never lose my touch. They flow sound broken, they could use a crutch. And I be riding on these tracks so much I could use a clutch. I done shook off all the rust, I done picked the microphone up and blew off all the dust.